we will just be talking about cholesterol. Now remember, cholesterol is the mother to all hormones in your body. Hormone synthesis starts with cholesterol, and that is one function of cholesterol in the body. So basically, if you have low cholesterol, you'll have low testosterone, and women will have low estrogen, and therefore that will be a problem because of the roles that these hormones play in your body. Number two, cholesterol is involved in formation of cell membrane. So every cell has a cell membrane, a covering, and that covering is made up of cholesterol. Now, this cholesterol that is in the cell membrane can be broken down to give you compounds called prostaglandins. Now, prostaglandins are those substances that help you detect pain. And you know, pain is very important before you start therapy. So pain shows there is a problem. So pain is important in healthcare. Now, the same prostaglandins are the ones that are involved in flushing off the uterus during menses. So for women, they are important because they help you undergo a normal cycle. Now, they also have other functions like protecting the gut from the acid, so they protect you from being burnt by the stomach acid. They also protect your kidneys and your blood vessels. So these prostaglandins are important. They come from cholesterol. So you can imagine if you have low cholesterol, what will happen to your cell membrane, and therefore what will happen to these prostaglandins. There will be a reduction, so you'll have all these problems. Now, those are the two major functions of cholesterol: formation of hormones and formation of cell membranes. Now, in your body, the liver produces 85% of your daily requirement of cholesterol, which means if you don't eat foods that are rich in cholesterol, your body will still produce the amounts that you require. Now, 15 up to 20% comes from diet, what you eat. Interestingly, if you eat diets that are high in cholesterol, the liver will start reducing its production of cholesterol, and therefore will reach an equilibrium. Now, cholesterol has two forms. There is high density lipoprotein, which is HDL, and we have low density lipoprotein, which is LDL. Now, HDL is the safer cholesterol, so that one we don't tackle it too much. LDL, it is the dangerous or the harmful cholesterol, in quotes, so it is considered as the harmful cholesterol. Now, I want to explain something about this LDL because it's the major problem. When you go for laboratory tests for cholesterol, the laboratory measures LDL, the levels of LDL in your system. Now, remember we said LDL is the one that is considered in quotes as the dangerous cholesterol. Now, shock on you. LDL amounts in blood cannot be enough to tell you or to detect if you have a risk of cardiovascular diseases, heart attack, and atherosclerosis, and the rest. So, what do? Ask these guys to give you a detailed profile of the LDL. Number two, ask them to also give you a detailed profile of the LDL ratio or the triglyceride ratio to LDL ratio. Triglycerides are the compounds that are used to store fat. So if they are high, then you are at risk. So tell these people to give you a result that indicates the levels of LDL in details and the ratio between LDL and triglycerides. Now, LDL is divided into two. There are two types of LDL. This is where it gets interesting. The first type is what we call large buoyant LDL. So large buoyant is a safer type of cholesterol. So you see, in the unsafe, the one that is considered unsafe LDL, we also have a safe one, which is large buoyant LDL. Now again, we also have the unsafe one in LDL, which is called the small dense LDL. So LDL has two, the safe and the unsafe. Now, the unsafe one, which is called small dense LDL, has the capacity to penetrate blood vessels and cause inflammation, and also cause atherosclerosis, which means the accumulation of cholesterol in bloodstream. It attaches to these blood vessels, and then they start hardening, and then there's occlusion, so blood does not flow to your heart, and then you get the heart attacks. So the one that is dangerous is the small, dense, low density lipoprotein. Okay, and that is what we don't get. We always concentrate on the whole LDL, and we miss out the point. So when you're given these results and they show that LDL in your blood is high, there is no call for alarm. You don't need to panic, because LDL has two. So basically, there are people who have high blood LDL, but they don't have no risk. They don't exhibit any risk of causing cardiovascular conditions, because they have LDL, a high LDL, but the safer low density LDL, or low density lipoprotein, sorry. So the point I'm trying to pass across is, if LDL is considered unsafe, that is not enough. In LDL we have two, the safe and unsafe also. So if that's why I'm telling you to ask for the triglyceride LDL ratio. Why? If you have a high triglyceride LDL ratio, that means that your small dense LDL is high, and therefore your chances of getting heart diseases is high. But if this triglyceride ratio to LDL ratio is low, that means you have the safer LDL, which is the large buoyant LDL, and therefore there are no chances you'll get heart conditions. Now, cholesterol is very important. Consume your eggs. Large buoyant LDL comes from eggs, comes from red meat and fatty meat for that matter, all forms of meat. Then it comes from seafoods and essential fats, which are animal fats, and I've mentioned that over and over. Now, the small dense LDL, which is the harmful one, comes from seed oils, comes from sugar, fructose for that matter, which is the sugar that comes from honey and fruits, that is fructose. It comes from processed wheat products and refined cereals. So therefore bread and pasta and the rest are a problem, and also is present in processed foods. So if you avoid processed foods and you avoid sugar, basically you're free from the dangerous or the harmful cholesterol, and therefore you'll just be fine, even if you go for a cholesterol blood test and it turns out that you have high LDL. Good.